Good evening. Yes, Cannondale. Can you see all the cards, guys? Yes, it is that much to cover, that much stuff to talk about. You know I love Cannondale. There is so many very interesting and unique features for Cannondale only. So let's just start covering those. Remember, in the description from now on, from the latest episode about Orbea, you have all the links. You can go straight to mountain bikes, all mountain different models. You don't have to watch the whole video, which will be long. By the way, how did you like my test of the Thanos tires? I'm reading your comments, and I will be featuring the brands you're asking the most. Cannondale road bikes, amazing bikes, and let me tell you why. We've got the SystemSix, we've got the SuperSix EVO, we have Cannondale CAAD12, CAAD Optimo, Synapse Carbon, and then Synapse, also the alloy version, and then there will be gravel, some kind of fun gravel bikes. Let's start with the road bikes. I will try to always simplify things and tell you who would be the best rider for the bike, or for whom the bike would be. And so Cannondale SystemSix. This is for somebody who's quick and who's been training for at least 2 years, in my opinion, and then the person will be able to take advantage of this bike. It took a while, it took some years for Cannondale to come up with the aero bike, but some of the things they say, like how many watts you are saving on Cannondale, it's just too bold, in my opinion. Like 100 watts on the fast descent, so this is crazy. But yeah, they have now the aero bike, and it's called SystemSix. These are carbon bikes, all disc brakes, no rim brakes anymore. And the first thing is that they started with designing the wheels. They have their own proprietary hologram Knot 64 wheels, and then they had been building the bike around the wheels, like the fork, the frame, the seat post, the cockpit, and so the wheels have become wider, the tires have become wider, and so the frame set has to work with it. And Cannondale SystemSix, they claim it is the fastest bike ever, but there's a couple of brands who claim that, so I'm not sure these are the fastest. Oh, you don't see the C here, but it's for sure they've nailed it. They've put a lot of work into it. And so Cannondale SystemSix, that's the aero bike. That means it's not so much for the climbers. If you are climbing on a very steep climb, they say like up to 6 grade climb, still the SystemSix will be faster, but that's interesting. Anyway, this is for sure bike for the sprinters, for sure for the like very quick crits. That would be Cannondale SystemSix for sure. Many features they talk about are covered right there. I'm not gonna read it for you, but yes, this bike is very interesting. The geometry of this bike is a little bit more aggressive than all the rest racing road bikes from Cannondale, but it's just a little bit. It's just like the stack is 0.7, like 7 millimeters lower than the other bikes, and it's good because the road bikes the aero bikes should not be much more aggressive, because you need to sustain the position on the bike. So that's something to have in mind. It's not gonna be super comfortable bike, but for sure super fast. The seat post will not be very comfy. Okay, number 2, very well-known SuperSix EVO, and what I want to tell you very sincerely, guys, the SuperSix EVO was the most comfortable road racing bike I have ever been riding. It is so smooth. The tiny seat post taken from the Synapse is so compliant that it really feels great. The only thing I didn't like about it was the look, because very like almost straight and thin fork doesn't have that look. And I had this, remember this green black colors? This one looks even better. But it is optimized not for how it should look, but for being super light and very comfortable. This bike is very comfortable. Remember, the geometry is aggressive, but compliance of this bike is amazing. They have nailed it. I talked to guys from the Cannondale. It's been like months of the computer work, like computer working on the sheets and everything. Then they've been testing it, and then they put the data once again into computer. I had this color, and so it took a lot of time, a lot of testing. They've nailed it. They really did great job with the SuperSix EVO. So this is the super light climbing bike. If you put some nice more aero wheels, it will still be very fast on the fast roads, fast grids. But for the grids, I would go for the SuperSix. If you climb quite a lot, the SuperSix EVO will be a great bike. Believe me, it will be. The next one is the CAAD12. This is the high-end aluminum racing road bike. They've been also working a lot on this bike. Each tube has been optimized, and all the hydroforming, all the measurements of how thick, how thin the walls of the frame should be in different places. It is amazing bike. You will ask for sure, what's better, the CAAD12 with better components or the SuperSix with a little bit lower group sets? I would say if you decide to just buy a bike and that's it and love it, don't focus on the components anymore, just buy the Cannondale CAAD12, maybe CAAD12 not lower than the 105, because that would be 11 speed and that it will be compatible with any other 11 speed stuff you want to buy in the future. So maybe that would be something like at least disc 105 or 105. It could be also rim brake, but maybe not the Tiagra. But if you think about upgrading in the future, why not buying even the SuperSix EVO on the Tiagra and upgrade it? Remember that SuperSix has two different frames: the SuperSix EVO Carbon, and then the SuperSix EVO High Mod Carbon. High modulus is stiffer. It is lighter for sure. So all in all, it is lighter and more expensive. So this is another frame. This is different frame from this one here. So if it's not high mod, it's different frame, different carbon layup. So guys, Cannondale SuperSix versus Cannondale CAAD12. You can put some better components on the CAAD12. It won't be as compliant as the carbon one, but still pretty thin. It's got the safe system. It will be quite comfy. Also, same geometry. And finally, the bike I highly recommend for most of the road cyclists is the CAAD Optimo. Same geometry. So these bikes are made for racing. But much cheaper. Everything on this bike is cheaper. You can even buy a flat bar version with some bar ends. Cool stuff, but just one buy. Oh, I wouldn't go for one buy, guys. That's the only problem. If you use it as a commuter, you can do it, but this is the racing geo. So you know what? I would skip flat bar here. I will show you some flat bar bikes later on in the minute. But CAAD Optimo on Claris will be a great bike to start with, maybe to upgrade in the future. You've got also Tiagra and 105 version. Sorry, my internet is not super fast right now. It is more simple. It has the external cable routing, which is great. It has threaded bottom bracket, which is really good, easy to maintain. Of course, heavier, but very good bike. Very good bike. Guys, CAAD Optimo models. So this is the cheapest racing road bike. Then we have also the racing bikes which is the Synapse carbon and Synapse alloy. Synapse has more upright position. It's been optimized for comfort. Everything on this bike, every tube shaping has been made for vibration absorption. So all of the road bars, this frame is going to take beautifully. The seat post will flex. The seat tube will also flex. The rear triangle will flex. This fork will flex beautifully. And as for the endurance bike, this one doesn't look like crazy. It's still like a classic road bike, but it's really advanced. And also here you've got two versions, which is high modulus and non-high modulus. So remember about that when you look at different bikes. High modulus is lighter and much more expensive. So high modulus ends on the Dura-Ace red E-Tap and women's red E-Tap, and then Dura-Ace non-high modulus is here. So just know about that. It will start even with Jaguar, so cool stuff. No rim brakes here, and then we have the alloy Synapse, also no rim brakes. It's cheaper because it's got aluminum frame, still made for being compliant. It won't be as compliant as the Synapse, but still quite comfy. So if you're on a budget and you want to have like nice endurance road bike, this is cool stuff. So which one from the road bikes? Super fast riders, that's the SystemSix. Maybe all-rounders, but for sure the climbers, that's the SuperSix EVO and CAAD12. Then we have CAAD Optimo for beginner cyclists who want to train a lot. And finally, if you spend a lot of time on the saddle, you want to have fast bike, but maybe the roads aren't that good where you ride. You've got bigger tire clearance on these bikes. Cannondale Synapse Carbon and Cannondale Synapse Alloy are very interesting bikes. Okay. Then we have something you can also use as the endurance bike, if you will. This is the new model. This is the TopStone. I will go right away to the Slate also, because many of you will ask, Dan, Cannondale Slate or Cannondale TopStone? Maybe you've seen my video when I said why I wouldn't buy Cannondale Slate. I don't understand fully this project. I know there have been some serious gravel events won on this bike. It's got the lefty with 30 millimeters of travel, which I completely don't understand. It's got the 650B wheels, which are made to be playful. But also bad thing about this bike, in my opinion, is one-by drivetrain. On a fast bike, you don't want to have one-by drivetrain. One-by is good for some all-rounder mountain bikes, but not for fast bikes with a drop bars. So I think Slate is for not that many riders, for like very small groups of riders. But yes, the TopStone, these are the alloy-only bikes. With bigger wheels. The top one has the one-by drivetrain. I would not go for one-by, really, believe me. But two-by drivetrains are great. These bikes will accommodate up to, I think, 43C tires. They come with 40C tires. So this will be very capable on the terrain. You've got three different, you can mount 3 bottle cages. You can have racks, fenders. That's what I did on my Merida Silex. This is this type of the bike. You've got also some place for the top box, I think it's called. For some food or some other stuff right here. Amazing bike. It's great for bikepacking. It's great for just going also fast on the gravel roads, different kind of roads. So Cannondale TopStone is very interesting one. I would not go for one-by drivetrain because you will feel those holes on the cassette if you only have one chainring at the front. Believe me, this bike will be very fast. It will be slower than the racing bikes, also because of the tires, mostly because of the tires, but it will be very fast. My Merida Silex was very fast when I was doing like 200 kilometers a day. It comes with a dropper post, that's interesting. The top model, but all the models are dropper post compatible. I don't think dropper post would be that helpful here, but you've got it. You've got the feature that's very, very, very nice. So TopStone, great bike, great gravel bike. So then the Slate, super playful, smaller wheels, 30 millimeters of travel at the front, 1x drivetrain, something to play with, I would say. Okay, then let's proceed to the SE collection. SE means that you get lower gearing, wider tires for different models, and so you can have Synapse in version SE. You can have SuperX, that's the cyclocross bike in the SE version, then CAADX, the alloy cyclocross bikes, Slate, and no TopStone in this version because TopStone already has wide tires and wider gearing ratio, except for the 1x. So that's just the collection of different models. And then we go for the CAADX and SuperX. Both are cyclocross bikes. CAADX is the aluminum cyclocross bike and SuperX is the carbon cyclocross bike. Nice colors here. What I would recommend you guys is not to really look at these bikes unless you think about racing in cyclocross. These are cyclocross racing bikes. It's just as I'm always telling you, if you go for like cross-country bike, cross-country specific design for cross-country, you need to be cross-country rider. CAADX and SuperX are cyclocross bikes. Cyclocross is the racing. These have racing geometry. The carbon one doesn't have any options for racks and fenders. I'm not sure about the alloy one. Maybe they did it for alloy, but you know, cyclocross bikes used to be all-rounders, commuters, and so. Now we have gravel bikes. So I would not look at the... Maybe there is some mounts. Cross-functional. Yeah, backup, pit bike, versatile, super commuter, all-rounder, adventurer. Okay, this is all-rounder, guys. Don't be mistaken. We already have now gravel bikes. When there was no gravel bikes, the cyclocross bikes would do the job. So for somebody who trains in the winter and goes for cyclocross, like sometimes also cross-country riders do cyclocross in the winter just to stay in shape, then having such a bike is good. So CAADX, aluminum cyclocross, and carbon cyclocross SuperX are great bikes made for cyclocross. That's quite easy. Then we've got the SuperSlice, many features to cover on this one. What Cannondale say is that this is the time trial triathlon bike. In my opinion, and in opinion of many bike feeders, time trial bike and triathlon bikes are different bikes. Cannondale say you've got many options of fitting the cockpit and the saddle here, but I'm not sure it would be perfect bike for both triathlon and time trialing. But anyway, there is the aero bike. So this one is made for somebody who really races TT, time trial, like this is the team time trial, Cannondale team drop-back team time trial, or triathlon. All right, so we've got two models only, but this color is quite beautiful. Okay, let's continue. Now we've got the mountain bikes and the all-new FSI. FSI was the bike I've been testing for a year. It was the previous model, amazing model. The safe system is amazing. What I can tell you now about the new FSI, of course, it's improved. It's been improved. It's lighter. It's no more 1.5 by 1.5. It's now tapered, so 118 I think by 1.5 steerer. Let's just look. Fork is okay. They don't say here. Frame, yeah, okay, no info about it here, but it is no longer the typical head tube. Now it's like all other brands have the tapered one because it's lighter. The asymmetrical rear triangle is amazing because the wheel is symmetrical. The wheel is stiffer. Now we have 29er-inch wheels. It's much better for the wheel to be laced in the symmetrical way. That's what Cannondale have. Beautiful. They've changed also the seat post clamp, as I said, the head tube also, and they have the all new Ocho, lefty Ocho, which is no longer double crowned. It is lighter because the previous one, the 2.0, was not that light. It got heavier comparing to 1.0, to the previous generation, because it's got bushing here at the bottom. So bearings up there and bushing here. This one also has bushing and bearings, so it's completely sealed up system, but no double crown. And Cannondale say it has as much stiffness as you would like to. It's not as stiff as the previous one. They never told you that the Lefty 2.0 was too stiff. Now they say that some riders felt it was too stiff. For me, Lefty 2.0 was not too stiff. But you can see what the Team Cannondale is doing with the Lefty Ocho. That means it is also rough, tough, durable fork. I only tried it for just like a couple of meters, so I won't tell you much about it, but the frame set is for sure improved. FSI, amazing. These are amazing bikes. So this is hardtail, and also two versions, as you can see. High mode, so high mode World Cup and high mode 1. These are the high modulus carbon frames, and then the non-high mode frames. And also the Lefty Ocho comes as the carbon one and as the alloy one. So make sure you know which one you're buying. But yes, I highly recommend if you wanna race cross country, even marathons. You want to have the all-rounder, but the very, very aggressive all-rounder mountain bike. The FSI is great bike. The next one, Scalpel SI, also comes now with the new Ocho. Nice features of the Scalpel is that this is the full suspension bike, which can take for you 2 bottles on board. 2 bottle cages. Okay, on my Marina 96, just 1. The only thing I don't like about Cannondale Scalpel, and I never liked about this new generation, is the look, because the shaping of this tube is not something my eyes like. Guys, what do you think about it? When I look at my Merida, let's just look about my Merida 96. I've got the team version, but just to show you. Okay, I think this is my bike here. Yeah, you will see the difference. But also, okay, this one looks so awesome because it can only take one stupid side. So many different notifications here. You see, this is very aggressive looking, but only 1 bottle cage. Cannondale Scalpel is here. You see the difference? See, it's not so straight tubes, but that's why here this bend here make the space for 2 bottles, and also the damper goes a little bit inside the upper tube. Very good bike, no pivot here, so a 0 pivot design as they've been making for a couple of generations already. Great bike, 29er, Lefty Ocho, and then FSI or Scalpel. If you want to go more for marathons, that's Scalpel. Of course, some rough terrain, Scalpel will be better, but FSI is still very compliant with their seat post. It is compliant bike. I'm loving it. So I would go for FSI, really. But some will love Scalpel. If you cannot have 2 bikes, you need to know whether you're more a marathon biker, you want to save energy on the rocks, or you're more like cross country, and then FSI will be better as just one bike. Okay, let's continue with the that can be quite it's quite difficult. We've got the enduro bike, Jekyll 27.5. That means 170 millimeters of travel, a lot of travel, very tough bike. This is the bike for enduro. The next one is Jekyll 29er. 29er means you've got larger wheels and less travel. This one will be 150 at the front and 150 at the rear. And then the next one will be all mountain. It's a trigger, and it's also a 27.5 with 150 at the front and 145 rear travel. This can be very like, man, which one should I buy? Let's just say straight, 170 millimeters of travel. It's 170 front, 165 at the rear. That's enduro bike. If you race enduro, if you're super tough, almost like a downhill style, that's the Jekyll, and the riders will choose between 29er less travel or 27.5 more travel. They say it's easier to maneuver the 27.5, but this one will roll through some obstacles. Some guys like it, some will stick to 27.5. But then we have the Trigger 27.5 with 145 and 150. This is, they call it all mountain. This is like a very tough trail bike. And then also the Scalpel SE. That's just the Scalpel with a little bit of more travel, like 115 millimeters of travel. But then also the Habit comes in. Okay, so yeah, it becomes a bit difficult. So once more, Jekyll and Jekyll 29er as are enduro bikes. Just skip it if you don't have lots of hours on the tough trails and you're not an enduro rider. Okay, so that's one thing. Maybe one more thing to mention is that they come with this Gemini shock, which you can set on the fly for flow mode, 150 millimeters of travel, or hustle mode, 120 millimeters of travel. I've tested this one on Trigger, not Jekyll, Trigger, that's all mountain, and I didn't like it. 145 or 115, I just didn't like it. You can see my test on some nice trails. I didn't like the system. It's complicated in my opinion, so I did not like it. Okay, then Scalpel SE will be SE, as you know, on the bikes, on the road bikes, that was wider tires, lower gearing. Here it will be also more travel. This will be 115 millimeters for 120 the fork, but I think the rear will have 115 millimeters of travel. So that's light trail riding. If you don't race that much marathons, for example, MTB marathons, but you like riding on the trails, Scalpel SE will be still light and the kinematics will be very efficient. But then we've got the Habit. The Habit is 27.5 inch wheels, and it's got 130 at the front and 120 at the rear, and that would be the trail bike for many riders. It will be more capable in the terrain than Scalpel. Scalpel is 29er. So here once again you have more travel and smaller wheels, easier to maneuver, quite fast in the corners. That's the Habit. Not many guys really buy the Habit. The Habit is not that famous bike of Cannondale, but there you go. 130 front, 120 rear. So if you're not an enduro rider, you would rather think about Habit or Scalpel SE, maybe Trigger, but Trigger is already for advanced trail riding. But I don't like the Gemini DualShock. It's overcomplicated. That's my opinion. Okay, but if it wasn't enough, we've got the Habit, and then we've got the Bad Habit. Bad Habit is the plus size wheels. So you can mount here very wide tires. It even comes with the wide tires. It comes with 2.8. That's a lot. 120 front, 120 rear of the travel. That's it. I would not go for really for plus, because here on the Habit you already have out of the box 225, which is very capable. You can have 2.4 no problem on this bike, in my opinion. So once more, Bad Habit is something I would skip. They just want to have everything that the competitors say. Now we have plus, now we have bigger wheels, smaller travel, longer travel, smaller wheels. They have it all. But for me, it would be, for trail riding, that would be rather choosing between Scalpel SE and the Habit. That's it. Okay, let's go further. That's the Cujo. That's the bike I actually forgot to talk about on the Orbea Loivi. They have Loivi, Orbea Loivi. This is the trail bike, but the hardtail. So nice hardtail trail bike. If you don't want to race, maybe that much, maybe just sometimes. You can also have big tires on this one. It will be more playful in terms of geometry, more upright. You've got the dropper seat post, so it's also bike for fun, but not for somebody having budget for the full suspension bike. Okay, so trail, hardtail bike, a nice one. And then you've got Trail Tango. This one is the 29er, if I remember well. It also comes in the women's version, but this is the 29er. 27.5, 29, 225. Yeah, because 27.5, that will be for the smaller sizes, but it is a 29er. So Trail is, we can say this is the beginner cross-country bike rider. It says it's ready for anything from XC racing to full-blown somewhere on the trails. So the Cujo is more for just for fun. Trail can also be for fun, but if you don't have money for FSI, you want to train, you want to start in some races, you would rather go for trail than the Cujo. So that's it. Cujo, fun. Trail, more for cross country. Okay. And then we've got the Catalyst, which has the smaller wheels. And now again a question: for whom? The Catalyst will be a budget bike, easy to ride, capable on some terrain. Then we have the fat bike, the rigid fork and the lefty suspension fork. Fat bike, you know that it's for snow, it's for sand, for some fun. And then we go for the commuter city bikes. Bad Boy. Bad Boy is the bike to look bad. It's got the lefty rigid fork. And the 27.5 inch wheel, but that's not the bike I would recommend that much. Let's just go further. Nice looking. Further ahead, we have the Tessoro. Tessoro is do-it-all bike. You can commute on this bike. You can go for some bikepacking. Why not? It will have nice geo, so nice upright position on this bike. It's got everything: disc brakes, racks, some chain protection, and the kickstand. So nice city bike, nice bike for some traveling. Why not? Tessoro, very versatile bike. And then the Quick and Quick CX would be the bikes I would recommend for all the guys who want to commute on the bike, but also make maybe some training, maybe for the weight loss, and so just not that much into either road biking or mountain biking. This is the hybrid bike. It will do all for you. I think all the bikes, not all the bikes come with the disc brakes. You don't necessarily need disc brakes, but it's nice. And these bikes will not be very expensive. So Quick and Quick CX Altea would be some nice hybrid bikes, I would call it. Then we have Synapse Carbon Flat Bar. So Synapse was the endurance, very compliant, comfortable bike. You can also buy it with a flat bar. So if you're not interested in having the drop bars, like the road specific, you can have a flat bar as well and use this one as a commuter. Why not? And one more left, the Adventure. Adventure has the smaller wheels, very upright position, very comfy saddle, Cannondale say. Easy. For me, too many models. But guys, what I would recommend you to look at is for sure the Quick and Quick CX. These are very interesting. And Tessoro for bikepacking, for commuting, for doing all the other stuff. And the other models like Bad Boy and the Adventure, maybe I would skip those. I mean, the Quick and the Tessoro are the bikes for the bigger group of the riders. That's my opinion. So that's it about the Cannondale bikes. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Let me know which brands to cover the next, or maybe you can also write questions like Cannondale Synapse versus some other brand, or this bike versus that bike, and I will do some comparisons for you. See ya in the next episode. Bye bye.